Alright guys, in this video we are going to review a conditional probability and also independence. This is a survey of Americans and what they think about the impact of social media by party, Democrat or Republican, okay? So let's look at the first question. What is the probability that the respondent thinks, the randomly selected respondent, that social media has a negative effect on the country, given that the respondent is a Democrat? So the first thing you do is concentrate on the word given. So if or given in the question always indicate that this is going to be conditional probability. And then whatever follows after that word, either given or if, is your condition, and that should be on the bottom of your expression. So the Democrat will be on the bottom. So what you're doing is you're cutting down your universe to just the Democrats because you're told, given you are a Democrat. And then we want to know what's the chance it's going to be a negative effect, right? So negative effect is going to be the favorable, and the total now is going to be the total in the Democrat category. So negative effect would be this right here. So this would be 220. But again, you're not dividing by the grand total. You're dividing by the total in the condition, which in this case is 400. Okay, so let's see if we can open up the calculator. So we are again taking the total number of people who have a negative effect among the Democrats. So 220 divided by 400. Now, because it says reduced fraction, we are going to use this button right here. And don't forget that you need to reduce the fraction. So if you click inside the box, it also tells you that. So that's 11 out of 20. Okay, the next question says, what is the probability that the respondent is a Democrat, given that the respondent thinks that social media has a negative effect? So in this case, again, this is conditional probability. And how do I know that? Because I see the word given. And after that, whatever follows after that, that's your total. So social media, you are now among the people who think that social media has a negative effect. So you're now down to just these people. You don't know anything else. Your universe is just the people that think that the social media has negative effect. And how many of them are Democrats? Well, that would be 220. So this would be 220 divided by 495. So again, remember, this is the most common mistake. Always divide by the total in the condition, and condition is after the word given or if. Okay, so let's take the negative effect. So 495 is going to be on the bottom, and Democrat is 220. So that's going to be this. Now let's convert it to a fraction. So that would be 4/9. Okay, next question. Now, none of these other things are conditional. How do I know that? Because there is no word if or given, nothing. For event A, just says, what is the probability that a person is a Democrat? Total. So this is just out of the grand total. So all of these other ones, you're going to be dividing by the 900, which is the grand total. So for the first question, it says, what's the P of A? A is a Democrat. What is the total number of Democrats? Well, that would be 400 divided by 900. So that should be 4/9. Okay, so that's going to go here. Probability of B is that the respondent thinks that social media has negative effect. Again, this is not conditional. It's just the total negative. So 495 divided by the grand total. So this would be 11 out of 20. Okay, the next question says A and B. So anytime you see in the probability question the word and, this and that, add the words at the same time. So respondent is a Democrat, and at the same time, respondent thinks that it's a negative effect. So where is the Democrat? Okay, where is the Democrat overlap with the negative effect? Well, that would be at this number right here. So this is now going to be 220, and you are dividing that by the grand total because this is not conditional. So 220 divided by 900, okay, that would be 11 out of 45. All right, so finally, we want to check the test for independence. So if two events are independent, we have this something called a test for independence, which says that probability of A and B should be equal to the product of P of A multiplied by P of B. So what we need to do to check this, because we already have the left-hand side, we have 11 out of 45, but we don't have the right-hand side. So we need to multiply these P of A and P of B and see what happens. So I'm going to take 4 over 9, multiply that by 11 over 20, and let's click to reduce. So that's 11 out of 45. Okay, so reduce is very important because you can immediately see if the two fractions are the same. Because if you don't reduce them, sometimes it may look like the fractions are different. But if you reduce them, there's a unique way to express this fraction. And these two answers are equal, which means that these two events are independent.